I've seen stuff like this happen before, and it normally doesn't turn out good when a quarterback is taking over the college football world by storm and they haven't even done anything to earn that hype and attention. More times than not, it backfires on them, and the attention and pressure is too much. Quarterbacks, and more quarterbacks. They are always the talk of the town. It's what everybody loves to focus on and talk about, and ironically enough, it's what we're going to talk about in tonight's video. Why do we talk about quarterbacks so much though? Why do we focus on them? It's because they are the most important position and the most vital position for any team, whether that's at the college level or the NFL level. It's fairly easy to replace wide receivers, running backs, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, cornerbacks, safeties, etc. But the one position that when you try to replace, you're going to see a huge fall off more times than not is the quarterback position. Speaking of quarterbacks, I think I've heard that word already a couple times in this video. Last year, Tennessee had one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Hendon Hooker. As most of you may or may not remember, he was my dark horse candidate to win the Heisman Trophy heading into last season. Although he shocked a lot of people out there, he lived up to my personal expectations. He was nothing short than flat out amazing and awesome. It was unfortunate the way it ended, but regardless, still an unreal season. And when Mr. Hendon Hooker went down with that terrible injury, everybody was like, oh no, what's Tennessee going to do? They lost their Heisman contending quarterback. One of my favorite things about sports is when a player goes down with injury or something happens to a starter, that means somebody that's been practicing, that's been working really hard, he's going to get that opportunity and shot to prove himself. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is exactly what happened last year for the Tennessee Volunteers. The young man that Tennessee and Josh Heupel inserted for Hendon Hooker, in his first game, he beat Vanderbilt soundly, but in his second game against Clemson on national TV and on a national scale, he went 19 for 28, 250 yards with 3 touchdowns to 0 INTs. That game alone put the country on notice because everybody's like, wait a minute, hold on. Can this kid actually go? Can he actually be just as good, if not better than Hooker? He's been the talk of the town the past couple of months, and especially the past couple of weeks and days. I see this guy everywhere, people talking about him. And I think the main reason for that is because what he did in the Clemson game alone, that's it. The shocking part about this is, yes, he looked impressive, but it's such a small sample size to go off of. But even with that small sample size, he's all over preseason Heisman Trophy favorite odds list. He's been ranked as the #1 quarterback when it comes to strongest and biggest arms, and he's also being projected to go pretty high in the 2024 NFL Draft to some people at least. And we're going to talk all about that in tonight's video, but also we got to take a look at this new top 100 players list. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly. I've never seen this before ever. A list of the top 100 players heading into 2023. I'm excited to get into it. I have not seen this list. You're going to get my raw reaction. This intro's already been way too long. You already know how it goes. If you like the content, consider subscribing. If you don't want to subscribe, that's cool too. All right, Matt, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, first things first, we're going to take a glance. We're going to take a look at these top 100 players in college football heading into 2023. By the way, shout out to Terrence. He sent this to me on Instagram. I told him we'd talk about it in a future video, and here we are. Don't worry, we're not going to spend as much time as you think we're about to spend on this topic. I'm just going to skim through this and take a look and talk about some of the notable players that stick out to me. I have not seen this list, by the way, so you're going to get my raw reaction, and yeah, you know, sometimes I can get a little bit worked up. Starting it out hot with a 100 through 91. I don't really see any notable names. You do got Kentucky's new quarterback at 96. Not too much to say there. 90 through 81. Okay, you got Joe Milton at 81. Alabama wide receiver Malik Benson. Texas. Yeah, okay, nothing too crazy, 80 through 71, you got 2 Ohio State running backs. Now, I am a big Trayvon Henderson fan. I don't know how he's not RB1 on this list, ahead of his own guy, but it is what it is. Also, notice right here, you got not 1, not 2, but 3 Georgia players, and also 3 Ohio State players. Do also got Donovan Edwards, Michigan running back, their backup running back, coming in at 79. So that means Blake Corum, I assume, has to be somewhere at least higher than him, right? Going up here, we got J.J. McCarthy at number 70. I like that. I don't see any other, nothing too much else to say for 70 through 61. Still haven't seen Blake Corum. I mean, he's got to be on the list, right? He's running back 160 through 51. Malik Neighbors, LSU's wide receiver, okay. Jarquez Hunter, we ain't even going to speak on that. If you know, you know. And yeah, nothing too crazy. 50 through 41, you got Dallas Turner, Alabama's edge rusher. I do think that's kind of low. I'd have him around 30, 35. You got 2 Michigan players and nothing But yeah, nothing else. You do got Tommy Eichenberg, Ohio State's, I call him a linebacker. He's coming back too. 40 through 31, still no Blake Corum. You got a Michigan cornerback and Will Johnson. And there we go. We got Travis Hunter. I knew he was going to be on this list. You got him at 31. What do y'all think about that? I mean, Travis Hunter is a 5-star recruit. Is that kind of low or is that where he should be? I don't have a problem with that. I think that's a good fit. You got Rocket Raheem Sanders, Arkansas's running back, coming in at 38. I'm really high on him. He's one of the most underrated running backs and players in college football. 30 through 21, the first two things that caught my eye is at 21 and 22, you got star wide receiver Xavier Worthy from Texas, and also Ohio State's wide receiver Emeka Ebuka. Here's where things start to heat up, though. There it is, finally. Blake Corum, all the way up at number 14. You also got Quinshon Judkins, by the way, very young running back, but he is a stud from Ole Miss. 13, you got Bo Picks, and number 11, you got Michael Penix Jr. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I haven't bought into the Michael Penix Jr. hype, and I'm probably not going to. Do I think Bo Nix is better than him? No, but I don't think he's a Heisman quarterback like everyone's trying to make him out to seem. Let's get into the top 10, though. At number 10, we got Kalen King. 9, Kool-Aid McKinstry, lockdown corner from Bama. 8, Joe Alt, offensive tackle for Notre Dame. At 7, you got Fashanu, and nobody really cares. 6, Harold Perkins, linebacker from LSU. Florida State. Okay, top 4. You got Brock Bowers. Okay. I thought he might be in the top 3. 3, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. 2, you got Drake May, North Carolina's quarterback. And number 1, who would have guessed it? Caleb Williams. Let's talk about this top 4 because I don't agree with it. My top 4 would look like this. Caleb Williams, number 1. 2, I'd have, I want to go with Brock, but I'm going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. 3, I'm going to go Brock Bowers, and 4, you could put Drake May there. That's my personal top 3 players in college football at the moment. Brock Bowers, Caleb Williams, and Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm also extremely high on Harold Perkins and Kool-Aid McKinstry. You can make an argument for both of those guys being in the top 5. Let's check out some of the comments, though, because you know people are going to say something about this. And the first couple of comments I've seen is that everybody's saying, yo, why is Blake Corum ranked so low? I wouldn't say he's ranked extremely low. It's not like he's in the 30s. He's at number 14. That's pretty high. Another comment I've seen is, how is Jaden Daniels not on the list? Yeah, now that I think about it, how is Jaden Daniels not in the top 100, LSU's quarterback? I'm going to be honest with all of you. I'm not overreacting and freaking out too much because I knew going into this, I'm going to take this list with a grain of salt. Whoever made this list, which more times than not is a bunch of nerds and geeks who have never even played an athletic sport in their life, it's a personal opinion and preference. For example, my top 10 players compared to your top 10 players, they'd probably be different too. Here's all I'm going to say about it. I don't understand how you can say Drake freaking May is better than Brock Bowers and Marvin Harrison Jr. There's no way, man. There's no way. I'm not a big Drake May guy, but you know, I think he deserves to be in the top 15, top 14. But putting him at number 2, best player in college football? Come on, man. Oh, man. Just let me calm down. I don't even want to go off on a tangent and rant. You know how I can be. Okay, calm down, Matt. You know what? I just say we end it off there. I'll leave it at this. Let me know your opinions on that down below. We'll speak on that maybe tomorrow or Sunday. Some of these lists, man, are straight up delusional. Brock Bowers would literally eat Drake May. I would love to talk about that some more, but we're going to move on to the main top of the main encore. The main reason you clicked onto this video, we got to talk about Joe Milton, Tennessee's quarterback. I don't know what's going on. I genuinely don't know what's going on. I'm asking Tennessee fans, could somebody fill me in and explain why the past week or so, everybody's hyping up Joe Milton? I've seen so many people hyping this up. You would think he had a season like Bryce Young had when he won the Heisman Trophy. You would think the way people are talking about Joe Milton at this current moment in time, he's coming off of a season like Caleb Williams had last year and he's returning as a star. But in reality, Joe Milton, he's not a star. And matter of fact, I'll go as far as saying this. He hasn't even proven that he is a good college quarterback. You know why I say that? Because I can't label you as a quote-unquote good college quarterback when you only have 2 starts and one of those was against Vandy, so really only 1 start. However, I will say this. I've given him a ton of credit, kudos, and respect for it. He straight up balled out against Clemson. Not many people at Tennessee beating Clemson outside the state of Tennessee, and they really embarrassed them 31-14, in which Joe Milton went off. 19 for 28, 250 through the air, 3 touchdowns. We've raved on that enough already. already. But my point is, he's only started 2 games for Tennessee. But yet, I see so many people putting him on the Heisman list. I see people ranking him. For example, let me show you this right here. I had a bunch of people tag me in this. 24/7 Sports released their 11 biggest arms for quarterbacks, and look at number 10, work our way up to number 1. Malik Murphy, Nico Iamaleava, which I love to death, Spencer Rattler, Drew Aller, Garrett Nussmeier, Quinn Ewers, Michael Bennett Jr., Caleb Williams, Drake May, and last but not least, number 1 on the list, Joe Milton. And also recently, I've seen some people projecting he's going to be not just a first-round pick, but he's going to be drafted as high as number 10 overall in next year's draft. The point is, you see all this stuff right here. He's being hyped up so, and I mean so much. He's on Heisman Trophy watch list. He's being ranked as the number 1 quarterback when it comes to strongest arms, and people are saying he's going to be drafted in the first round. All of this for a young man who has started 2 games at Tennessee. Think about it. Everything I just said is great. It really is. But here's my problem with this. The one thing I've learned over my many years of covering college football and sports in general is that it is very, and I mean very dangerous, to hype up a young man, to hype up a kid who hasn't earned the hype. I'm hoping it works out for him. I'm wishing Joe Milton the best of luck. But all I'm saying is, we've seen it time after time when you hype these guys up without them proving themselves. They fall off or they wet the bed. Look at, most recently, what's the guy, I'm drawing a blank here, Spencer Rattler. We saw what happened there, and same thing with DJ Uyunglele at Clemson. I said Uyunglele, my fault. I meant to say DJ Ugabadoogie. Look, man, I'm all for giving hype where it's deserved. So putting him at number 1 on the strongest arm list, that's cool with me. But when you start already throwing him in the Heisman conversation, when fans are talking about that, and you're already throwing him in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft, come on, man. Slow down. I will tell you this much. Right now, I still think Hendon Hooker is better than Joe Milton. I just loved everything about Hooker. The guy can play, still underrated in my opinion, and undervalued, as to why he didn't get a Heisman vote to go to the ceremony. Not win it, but at least go there, blows my mind. I think Joe Milton has a ton of potential, but that's the problem. It's potential. I have a hard time hyping up a guy when I don't have facts and evidence to back up my claims. For example, if I wanted to be on the Joe Milton hype train, I only have 1 game to show you. He only played really outside of Vanderbilt 1 serious game against Clemson, in which he was fabulous in. But I gotta see a little bit more. And it's not just going to take the first 3 games next year before I buy into him. It's going to take 5 or 6 games. I've seen stuff like this happen before, and it normally doesn't turn out good when a quarterback is taking over the college football world by storm and they haven't even done anything to earn that hype and attention. More times than not, it backfires on them, and the attention and pressure is too much. I'm very curious. Let me know your thoughts on Joe Milton. Are you already high on him, or are you in the same boat as me? You think he can be good, but you're waiting to see a little bit more to hype him up. Let me know your thoughts down below, but roll with me.